Just for your information, Kela has just released a statement about the changes in benefits that will start from January 2025. Now, if you are the international resident living in Finland, then perhaps it would be so much important to know about this information. So what I will do now, I will just read you through the article as it has been written on Kela's website. If you might want to read it yourself, then you can visit Kela's website. I will provide the website on the description area in this video, but also you can visit their website on your own, Kela Pistafi or Kela.fi, and then you can see this article plus many other articles which could be very much important to know. So let's go forward. The article says the title changes to Kela benefits in 2025. There will be several changes to Kela benefits in January 2025, affecting both benefit rates and eligibility criteria. Read on to find out if the changes affect your benefits. We will automatically adjust any benefits currently being paid to you. So they will do the adjustment automatically and you don't need to do anything. You just need to know what happens. The upcoming changes to Social Security benefits were outlined in the current government program. The various ministries have prepared government proposals, and these proposals have then been submitted to Parliament for review and approval. Kela's task is to implement the legislative amendments approved by the Parliament. So Kela, all they do is to implement this amendment which have been approved by the Parliament. The pensions, disability benefits, social assistance, and conscripts allowance paid by Kela will be increased by 1% as of the beginning of 2025 in accordance with the National Pensions Index. The child maintenance allowance will also be increased. Due to freeze in the National Pensions Index, there will be no increases to other benefits. The index freeze will continue until 2027. So there are about 7 areas which are facing changes from January 2025. So we have changes, for example, in sick benefits. We have changes in disability benefits and benefits for pensioners in 2025. We have changes to the general housing allowance in 2025. We have changes to unemployment benefits in 2025. We have changes to social assistance and how celiac disease is taken into account. In 2025, we have changes to benefits for students and young persons in 2025, and we have changes to benefits for families with children in 2025. So I will read you through. This might take time, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, but I hope you can bear with me. So let us start with changes to sickness benefits in 2025. The article says that the initial deductible on the reimbursement for medicine cost will be increased to 70 euros as of January 1st, 2025. In 2024, it was 50 euros. The maximum annual limit on out-of-pocket medicine cost will be increased to 633 euros and 17 cents in 2025. In 2024, it was 626 and 94 cents. I'm actually at home with my boys, so I hope you can bear with me. This way sometimes they can be disruptive. Okay, so that was point number 1. Point number 2, in autumn 2025, we will see a trial run with the so-called Kela credit. So they have the Kela credit and they want to do a trial run. And it says for the payment of annual out-of-pocket medicine costs, the trial means that the credit will be extended to low-income customers who reach the annual maximum limit with a single purchase. And also the calculation formula for sickness and rehabilitation allowances will change on January 1st, 2025. This change will reduce the sickness and the rehabilitation allowances paid to persons with an annual income of more than 28 thousand euros and 241. The changed calculation formula will also reduce the amount of partial sickness allowance. And also another point is that the minimum amount of sickness allowance and the rehabilitation allowance will be the same in 2025 as in 2023 and 2024, which is 31 and 99 cents, 31 euros and 99 cents per day. The government is proposing changes to reimbursement from Kela. These government proposals have yet to be approved by Parliament, and the review process will continue in spring 2025. So that was about the changes in the sickness benefits in 2025. Now I'm going to another area, which is changes to disability benefits and benefits for pensioners in 2025. It says now the title is I don't know, it's not the title. The pensions, disability benefits, and front veteran supplement paid by Kela will be increased by 1%. As of the beginning of 2025. In 2025, the full amount of guarantee pension is 986 euros and 30 cents per month. Many recipients of housing allowance for pensioners will see a reduction in their allowance, as income and assets now have greater effect on allowance. So nowadays, they take into account your income and the asset. The change will reduce the allowances of more than 200,000 recipients. So many people will be affected. On average, allowances will be reduced by about 15 euros and 60 cents per month. For about 7,600 current recipients, the allowance will be discontinued altogether. All right, we continue. Persons who currently receive housing allowance for pensioners will be affected by the change gradually after it enters into effect on 1st of January 2025. Their allowance will be adjusted the next time it is reviewed. Kela reviews the amount of housing allowance for pensioners 2 years after it was awarded or last reviewed. The heating, water, and maintenance costs taken into account into the housing allowance for pensioners will not be increased in 2025, and neither will the maximum housing cost. And the last point on this section, it says Finnish national pensions will no longer be paid to other European Union or EEA countries. I don't know, to be honest. This EEA countries, what is that? And then Switzerland and the United Kingdom as of 1st of February 2025. This change will also have an impact on which country is responsible for the cost of persons' medical treatment, and on whether they can receive care allowance for pensioners. Furthermore, the change may affect the amount of national pension received by customers who now live in Finland but have in the past lived or worked in other European Union or EEA country. I think Eastern European, I don't know what is A country, Switzerland or the United Kingdom. Please tell me in the comment section, what is this EEA country? What is that? I don't know, I have no idea. So that was changes to disability benefits and benefits to for pensioners in 2025. And then now we are going to the changes in general housing allowance in 2025. Now this may concern a lot of people. The article says there will be cuts to general housing allowance. These cuts will reduce the housing allowance for some, and for some the allowance will be discontinued altogether. Assets will once again be taken into account when granting general housing allowance. This means that the assets of the household, such as deposits, real estate, forest, shares in a housing company, will affect the amount of housing allowance. However, assets such as summer cottage and in the household's own use, shares in an undivided estate, or deposit in an ASP, home savers bonus account, will not be taken into account when determining the allowance. Kayani, Kovura, Lapenranta, Mikeli, Pori, and Vasa will be transferred from municipal category 2 to municipal category 3. The amount of housing allowance will be reduced for almost all recipients in these cities. These changes will enter into force as of 1st of January 2025, but they will not have an impact on the amount of general housing allowance until next time the housing allowance is reviewed in 2025. Customers who apply for general housing allowance starting from 1st of January 2025 or later will be immediately affected by the changes. Another point says general housing allowance will no longer be available for owner-occupied homes. I can repeat that. General housing allowance will no longer be available for owner-occupied homes. So if you have your own home, then no longer general housing allowance from Kela. From January 1st, 2025. The change does not apply to right of occupancy homes or part ownership homes. General housing allowance will continue to be available for such homes. And the last point on this section, it says students will be transferred from general housing allowance scheme to the student housing supplement scheme as of 1st August 2025. Those who live with their child in their partner's or their partner's child will not be transferred to the student housing supplement scheme, but instead will be eligible for general housing allowance as before. So no changes in this category. So that was changes to the general housing allowance in 2025. Now I go to changes to unemployment benefit in 2025. The article says in 2025, the basic unemployment allowance and the labor market subsidy will be the same as in 2023 and 2024. That is to say, you will continue to receive 37 euros and 21 cents per day, which is about 800 euros per month on average. Unemployment benefits will no longer include a supplementary amount of 5 euros and 29 cents per day during participation in unemployment promoting services. This change enters into effect on 1st of January 2025 and it applies to labor market subsidy, basic unemployment allowance, earnings related unemployment allowance, and commuting and relocating allowance. Compensation for expenses, which was 9 euros per day or 18 euros per day, will still be paid out as normal for the duration of employment promoting services. Persons who live with their parents may get less labor market subsidy. Previously, the amount of labor market subsidy could be reduced by half if the parental income exceeded a certain income limit. In 2025, the amount of labor market subsidy can be reduced to 35% of the full benefit. The full amount of labor market subsidy is granted if the parent's income does not exceed 1,000 euros and 781 per month in total. Any compensation for informal family caregivers that a parent receives will no longer be reduce the labor market subsidy of the unemployed person living with their parents. So that was about the changes happening in the unemployment benefit in 2025. Now we go to the changes to social assistance and how celiac, is it celiac or celiac? I think maybe celiac diseases is taken into account in 2025. It says the basic amount of basic social assistance will be increased by 1% as of January 2025. Social assistance will be available for extra food expenses caused by celiac diseases as of 1st of March 2025. An additional 25 euros per month will be accepted under Kela social assistance scheme as food expenses caused by celiac diseases. The amount will be paid to each family member with celiac disease who is 16 or older. It is intended for low-income individuals. Now we go to the changes to benefits for students and young person in 2025. It reads, students will be transferred from general housing allowance scheme to the students housing supplement scheme on August 2025, August 1st. The housing supplement is available to students who live in rental or right of occupancy housing. In future, the housing supplement will be 80% of the rent or the residence charge. However, the maximum rate of housing supplement will be 216 euros, 248 euros, 296 euros per month, depending on municipality in which the student lives. Okay? Then it continues. The change will not apply to students who live with their child or their partner's child. They will be eligible for general housing allowance as before. Study grant rates will not be index adjusted. Instead, the rates will remain the same as in 2023 or also 2024. In 2025, the study grant paid to students in higher education who live alone is 279.38 cents. Okay, about school transport, they say school transport subsidy will only be available to students who are entitled to free education. The change will take effect on August 1st, 2025. The minimum age for several Kela benefits for young people will be raised. The minimum age for national pension, rehabilitation allowance, sickness allowance, and guaranteed pension will be raised from 16 years to 18 years from the beginning of 2025. Going forward, disability pension and the rehabilitation subsidy will be available only to persons aged 18 years and over. The change will not affect young persons who already receive these benefits. Instead, it will affect persons born in or after 2009. But vocational rehabilitation, it says vocational rehabilitation for young persons will increasingly be targeted at young persons who are not in school or work or who are otherwise at risk of social exclusion. However, rehabilitation can continue to be granted without a formal diagnosis of illness or disability. As a rule, participation in coaching services in connection with vocational rehabilitation for young persons, in bracket NUOTI coaching, will no longer make participants eligible for rehabilitation allowance. So that was all according to changes for benefits to students and young persons. Now the last one is changes to benefits for families with children in 2025, which says there will be no increases to child benefits in 2025. The minimum rates of daily allowances for parents and the rates of child care allowances and their income limits will not be index adjusted at the beginning of 2025. Instead, these rates, the rates of these allowances will remain the same as in 2023, also 2024. The amounts of child maintenance allowance and child support will be increased in accordance with the cost of living index as of January 1st, 2025. So that was all about the updates of changes, and this is according to the information which has been updated by Kela in their own website. So if you want to know more, you can visit Kela's website through the link which I will provide on the comment section below. Apart from that, please let me know in the comment section, what do you think about these changes? What comes to your mind? See you soon. Bye-bye.